Hey guys, C-Drama Invasion here. Welcome back to another video, and I decided to bring back this series, and it's the Facts and Profile series of actors that I like or I'm interested in. So I had to do Liu Yuning because I've been following a lot of his live stream, little tidbits here and there, and he has a lot of great stories. So this will be a mix of his backstory, how he got to fame, his bio, as well as upcoming dramas and just fun little facts about him that you might not know. So shall we start with the backstory? His backstory is really sad. He came from a poor family and his father passed away before he has a chance of forming a strong bond with him. He reveals that he never really remembers his father because it was so long ago and he passed away when he was a child. And he also lacks maternal love from his mother. He said that because his father passed away, his mom had to take on both roles and she was constantly working to the point that she didn't have time to take care of him, and he's so young. So he basically was raised by his grandparents. And eventually she found new love, kind of leaving him behind in limbo. He's kind of an independent person ever since he was younger because of this situation. And he stayed with his grandparents until the grandma passed away. And he continued to do little part-time jobs as he went through school. School was difficult for him because he always was from a poor family, and he knew whatever dreams he had, it was not going to be realized because of his financial situation. And he always had a dream of becoming a singer. He loves singing, but he decided to do something realistic just to save his family from worrying. He said that he decided to be a chef and work for restaurants, so he got professionally trained. And he worked for a couple of years in his life until a medical issue came up with his lungs and he couldn't continue. On a live stream, when asked about his situation of poverty, he explained, when I mean I'm poor, I literally had enough money to only afford one meal a day. And he couldn't tell anybody about it because he felt so ashamed. This gave him a lot of insecurities. It also made him become someone with an inferiority complex. So he always felt weird around other people in his gender growing up because he's like, the men are so strong, they look a certain way, they have different aspirations. Meanwhile, he loves to sing and people would laugh at him if he voices it. And his appearance was skinny and he was always super tall. He would stand out and everybody would make fun of him. They would just think that he's a freak, and I just feel so bad listening and researching all these things about him. He revealed that due to medical complications, he couldn't be a chef anymore, and that's how he got into managing restaurants, which is the first time in his life where he could afford something for himself. And he never let go of that dream. He said he was a very stubborn person, and he still is, saying that it's a trait that you can't really beat out of him. And everyone would tell him to be realistic. Come on, you just started to save up a little bit. So what do you do with that money? Normal people, they might invest in something, try to make their business bigger and stuff, but he was like, no, I really want to try singing. So he bought himself a guitar without any vocal training at all, just all his life, no professional voice training. He decided to just sing at the restaurant, and he was kind of known as the local guy that would just sing at his restaurant while also managing. Later, this became a couple of other gigs where he would go to random restaurants around the area and perform. He recalled some stories where he was in a relationship at the time, and he said even his girlfriend was so against him doing this. And he recalls her saying something that he can't forget, which is, why don't you just buy a stall, roast some corn? I think it's more practical than you singing. So she was pushing him, like, since you have experience in the food industry, why don't you continue? She basically thought it was pointless because he wasn't bringing in the money. And realistically, they had to break up because she wasn't supporting his dreams, and he is determined to make his passion work out. Eventually, this did work because he met people that really love music as well, and they decided to make a little band together. It was called Modern Brothers, and it did pretty well, especially because at the time, social media was booming and new platforms were coming up, specifically live streaming. So now, Chinese live streamers are making so much money. Like back then, it was this new thing. So he decided, let me give this a try. Let me talk to the audience, get them to know me as a person, and hopefully they'll like my music. So he did that, and he would live stream him singing on the streets. In 2017, he was signed, and in 2018, he made his first acting debut in a drama called Hot-Blooded Youth alongside Huang Zitao. I recently shared a story in episode 173 of C-Drama News at the end, where he revealed that he wants to learn English now because of the time that he first met Jackson after hanging out with Huang Zitao at his home. He said Jackson came over and they were literally rapid fire speaking in English, and then they were speaking Korean at one point, and then Thai, and he was like, what is going on here? And he's like, how cool would it be for me to learn that and just surprise them the next time I see them, or years down the line, surprise my fans and speak like that too. So currently in present day, that's one of his goals. But he says he doesn't have enough time for it because he keeps on taking new jobs. And it makes sense looking at his backstory why he doesn't really deny new opportunities, because who knows where it would take him. From 2019 onwards, though, he was the rising star, especially the it boy of OSTs, because he was on this show called Singer 2019. It's a competition show that blew up all over the internet, and all of a sudden everybody was lining up at his door waiting for him to be a singer on their upcoming dramas. And because of this, his voice is so recognizable, and he's on so many variety shows. He did a lot of things after that. But acting-wise, like, the biggest role that gave him success has to be 2021's The Long Ballad. That changed the game for him. The Long Ballad is an action, war, romance drama, and it follows Dilraba, Wu Lei, Liu Yuning, and Zhao Lusi. It's a story about a woman who is determined to get revenge for what happened to her family. He plays like the second leading couple, but because of how popular the drama is, you have Dilraba and Lusi in one drama. It just propelled them all into success, and he became very good friends with both Dilraba and Lusi, which landed him as second male lead role in The Legend of Enla. Another collab with Dilraba. It didn't do that well, but he's currently filming The Legend of Jewelry, which hopefully will come out at the end of this year. I love it when this happens, and I've noticed it's a nice trend where I feel like you just need to have a close friendship with someone, and then they'll recommend you if there's an opening for a job. And it follows a poor woman who is trying to sell jewelry, but she needs mentorship, and she finds the male lead who takes her under his wing. Of course, the other drama that's prominent is last year's 2023's A Journey to Love alongside Liu Shishi, where he was exceptional, and I think he got a big injury, like his foot or ankle was sprained, but he still managed to shoot a lot of those fighting scenes himself. Such a hardworking person, so inspiring, and it sucks because till this day he's still getting hated every single time there's a big cast announcement that he's in a drama with XYZ, an A-list actress. They keep on saying that he's not good looking enough, and that sucks because while we know that there's cutthroat standards for beauty, I'm kind of glad that he's one of a kind. Like, he's different and he's not like that cookie cutter type. He can act, he can sing, and I'm a fan. He also has anxiety issues because he revealed that he's been getting into these beads for his mental health. It reminds me of like, what is it called? Like those squishy stress relief toys where you just bring it with you everywhere and then you mindlessly like play around with it and it kind of calms you down. So that's what kind of grounds him when he's anxious. And there's photos with him in a lot of different situations, like red carpets and stuff, or at award shows where he's sitting, he's just like playing with his beads. And these beads are actually really expensive. I did some research on them and apparently they cost a lot because they're from specific like wood or something from India. Anyways, he also has a little puppy called Daimi, so adorable, and he's been seen with it several times during different live streams. And I think the most like shocking fact that came out last year because of his popularity is somebody dug up that he was once married and they said, oh, he has a child too. And he went online to say, yeah, he was married, but he never had a child with her. And he thinks it's so vicious and horrible that you would bring this up now, especially when his ex-wife is now married and she has a family of her own. And he told them to shut that down and stop harassing good people. That is in the past. And he said it's nobody's business and that it's irrelevant to his current life, which is true. And everybody kind of loved him after that because they're like, slay. A lot of people would go through those PR statements or just hide for a couple months, I guess, without posting much online, let it slide, let it die down on its own, which is fine. But something about not needing that type of PR buffer is just authentic and real. So I like his personality. I feel like he carries himself really well, and despite all the haters, he's doing a really good job. Plus, his personality is so funny. Like, sometimes I just scroll online and I just read something and I'm like, he is so real for that. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this one. Hope you learned a lot about him. I sure did making this video, which is why it's so much fun. These take a while to do the research on, but it's so worth it because I feel like I have a deeper appreciation of the actor or actress every single time I make one of these videos. I will probably remake a lot of these because I covered these like 3 years ago when my research skills wasn't the best. These people didn't have a lot of projects or interviews revealing like their true personalities. I love covering, like, of course, the backstory, of course, what made them popular, like a lot of other channels do, but I like digging into those real stories, their quirks, what they like, what they don't like. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this type of video. Show me some support by commenting your favorite fact that you learned today or anything you want about Liu Yuning. And I'll see you guys in the next one.